What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 179 of We're in Pre-Season, Please Don't Injure My Players for the rest of my final season here at the club, here with Town Will Town. Yes, it's the Club World Cup. It's been 2 days since we took on Botafogo. All my players are really tired, they've not recovered, we've got a game today, and our bench consists of 6 players, of which one is a goalkeeper, and one is Claudio Cancina, who I've been told shouldn't really play. We might risk him, we might not. I mean, to be fair, everyone is being risked today. Everyone has their neck out on the line. It's a little bit ridiculous. I did check Chelsea. It's a similar situation for them. So I can't complain that much, you know. It's going to affect both teams, but yeah, I don't feel like this is how this is meant to be played out, but here we are. It's worth noting as well, they've been given loads of greyed out virtual players that they can just fill their squad with. I guess because I'm a player, I don't get them. Maybe this is how Football Manager is nerfing me. Maybe this is how they're approaching things. Either way, today we've got the Chelsea game. It's the quarter-finals of the World Club Championship. And I will say now, if you didn't watch last episode, please do go watch it. Shvetsov got 10 goals in one game. I'm not going to say anything more than that, because even though I've told you that we've made it this far, it's worth watching. So yeah, we're going to see how we get on today. It's not going to be easy. If we win this, we get given a game against Barcelona. So it only gets easier. And that will be coming up today as well, pending us getting through this round. If we get knocked out to Chelsea, I don't really know what we'll do. Maybe we'll just do a little run through of what I'm thinking in terms of for the summer. Anyway, the team itself is picked entirely based off fitness. I don't have a squad. It's a very good team. It's a very full-strength team in many areas. Turnbull gets a start, which I know the Turnbull Appreciation Society will be delighted to see. Elsewhere in the team, Markovski getting a rare appearance as a starter. An incredible centre-back, and for just about any other squad I've ever had in Football Manager, he'd walk straight into the first team, but for us he is our 3rd or 4th best striker. Centre-back, even. Although he's still, you know, a pretty useful wing-back on his day if we need him just to slot in there. But either way, it's a bit of a predicament. On the bench we have Leskinen, Andre, Chalet, Norman and Cancina. Eagle-eyed viewers may notice there isn't a defender on the bench there. Leskinen as a makeshift centre-back is our only option. It is a similar story for Chelsea, so as much as I want to complain about it, that they are suffering the exact same thing, I will add that kind of caveat that they have seemingly got some virtual players in, so there is a bit more rotation available for them. Anyway, we're at the Camp Nou for this, so a really big occasion here in Spain. Hopefully, we're going to come out on top in this, but we'll see, I suppose. It's not an easy game. Chelsea, though, a team that we've bumped heads with many times in recent years, not really under these kind of circumstances where it could well boil down to being a battle of attrition. I'm being told after 20 minutes that Aurelio is looking exhausted and we should think about subbing him. I don't have a right back on the bench. So sorry, Mateus. Just keep doing your stuff and let's hope that you don't get injured for the rest of the season. That's the long and short of things. Anyway, Vincent to Holman whips it in towards the back post. Frost was there, falls to Maticevic, falls to Shvetsov for his first of the season. And while the goal tally may have reset, he may be a little way off the 51 goals he got last season, but it's a starting point, I suppose. The ball whipped in by by Holman. It was headed away. I thought for a second Maticevic was going to go for an iconic long-range effort. His shot in the end actually deflected into the footpath of Shvetsov. And, he just tucked it away. 1-0 after 20 minutes. Lovely stuff. Aurelio, please don't die. I don't really know what else to tell. Just don't get long-term injuries. I want to win the Club World Cup. I'm not sure at what cost I want to win the Club World Cup. Either way, a free kick's been blocked here. Frost is going to break away. The camera did not know where to go. I think the TV director got confused. Players streaming forward. Ball in. Shvetsov's efforts blocked. Falls to Claudio Holman, a player who gets criticised for not doing enough. It's 2-0 up after half an hour, and I might be starting to enjoy myself, maybe. A number of chances coming our way. This one a bit fortuitous again. The last couple of efforts on goal have resulted in these dodgy little deflections that just seem to work out in our favour right now. On this occasion, Matasevic's pass deflected, fell all the way to Claudio Holman. He smashes it in. And while the Camp Nou being treated to an absolute treat as Morrigan holds on to it, he's still not conceded in this competition. It's worth just reminding you of that. The 0-0 draw against Botafogo, iconic. the 15-0 win where he didn't have to make a touch of the ball all game against Sport, maybe slightly less iconic. Anyway, Holman forward to Frost. Could we have a third? Could we have a third? No, because Vial in goal makes a great save. It was offside, I think, anyway, so it may not have counted. It may have been the assistant flagging for a goal kick. Either way, Frost squanders his opportunity, fluffs his lines. Chelsea live to fight another day, although, well, Shvetsov's been threaded through and he's on his merry way. Can he finish it? Saved. Almost fell straight back into the path of him, and they managed to get rid of it. But Chelsea being exploited at the back, I wonder if the tiredness of their team is just causing us to be able to, find that space in behind them. The fatigue is certainly going to affect both teams. I don't know if with this game, if it's a draw, if it goes to extra time and penalties. I really hope it doesn't, otherwise it could get messy. Really, I would like a third goal here just to, I guess, tie things up in a nice bow, and then I might start to rotate the team a little bit. But no, it's not looking particularly easy. Kaiser whips in. Frost is there, outside of the post, denies us. I'm thinking about making subs, but then I'm just reminded about the fact our subs are all very tired as well. I do feel like we need to take off Mateus Aurelio. I'm going to take him off and bring in Andre, and I think I'm going to bring in Leskinen for Cesar at the back, just because I don't want Cesar getting a long-term injury, and they're two players whose fitness dropped so low. I mean, you can see here, it's not particularly pretty for either team. Two of their defenders on below 55%, although I say that, by comparison, we're struggling as well. Shall we all just agree to sit in the circle in the centre of the pitch and just have a picnic? Does either team really want to lose players for the rest of the season based off this one game? I don't feel like it's that important for us. If we were to get a third, I would probably tell the players to take a breather and just slow the play down. Frost, you've got to score one of these. 5 clear-cut chances. The weird thing is, I want to blame Frost. I want to blame our players for missing these chances, but actually I think their low condition is just playing such a huge role in terms of how much they are struggling. Just the amount of mishit passes, the amount of balls that are just not going to be gotten on the end of because players are exhausted is going to be a factor in the last 13 minutes here. Anyway, Vincent throws it forward. Holman manages to touch it down, and he handballed it. So it's an indirect free kick. What is it? That's 2 handballs in the last 2 episodes now. Shvetsov last game, Holman this game. Are we cheats? I'm not sure. Maybe we are after all of this. Maybe we are the bad guys. Maybe when we spent £300 million on a striker, that was the point at which we became the beast that needed to be taken down. So far, we've not been taken down, at least domestically in this competition. We look very good to go on, despite our tiredness, despite the fact Andre is playing right back, something I've not really made a big deal of, but the centre mid needs must in this situation. He's fairly well suited to play wing back, to be fair. Poor Vincent can barely run, but he's going to thread through Turnbull, and Dylan Turnbull latches on the end of it. Vincent adds another assist to his ever-growing collection in this competition. It's 3-0. It's job done. I'm going to skip the highlight. I'm sorry. I want to make sure we do changes. This is horrific to look at. This is making me feel very anxious for our team. Vincent is on a 49%, but I'm actually going to take off Kaiser. I think that's the right thing to do. And also, team instructions, I do want us just to take a breather. Where is the take a breather option? Is it in transition? Slow pace down. Slow pace down. Less pressing. Just sit back and have a lovely time here, boys. You don't worry about it. We can just sit men behind the ball. We can keep possession of it. Let's just have the slowest tempo we can. Just jog it out for the last 5 minutes of this game. I don't know what else to do, really. It's such a weird situation to find ourselves in. This sometimes happens, I feel like, with the World Cups in the summer. At national team level, I've experienced it where players get this tired, but I don't know. There's not really an end in sight because we look like we're going to go through here, and for the game against Barcelona we're going to have upcoming, I mean, every other team in the semi-finals has finished playing. They're all resting right now while we're still playing. And our bench isn't getting any bigger as Leskinen scores, which may well end up being one of his last contributions here at the club before he jets off to Arsenal. I say jets off to Arsenal like it's somewhere luxurious and far away. In the reality, it's probably neither from Towlaw. But, no, not a bad goal. Turnbull turning provider. Lovely finish into the bottom corner. I love that. We're humiliating them. making our slightly less tiredness work in our favour. Vincent gets man of the match. Morrigan gets, another clean sheet for his collection. And the semi-final is apparently in another 2 days. When this was all scheduled and figured out, did no one think to maybe, have it so that we get rests? Or is that just not a thing? Either way, we're going to be playing them on Wednesday the 1st. It's currently Sunday, so we get an extra day's rest, I suppose. But, I mean, it's just a bit ridiculous, really, isn't it? It's just a bit ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to go away and rest the players and try and work out what's what. We'll be back for the second game of today's episode. It's going to be against Barcelona. It's going to be a pretty spicy affair. Hopefully we're recovered for it. Maybe some players can be back from international duty. I don't know what the status of things is going to be. Let's go forward and find out. Okay guys, so we are back here for the second game of today's episode. It is the semi-finals of the Club World Cup. And well, we didn't get this far in the World Cup proper, but maybe we can go that little bit further with Town or Town. We're on my profile here. I thought it'd be cool just to start with a quick look at the manager profile. You can see here at the career milestones, it actually shows the fact that it was an unbeaten season, which I think is a new feature. Either way, really cool thing just to see uniquely standing out, in the career milestone. You can see as well here the characteristics of our manager, our attributes are here if you were wondering. Interestingly enough, the list of positive relationships has steadily been growing over the last few years, and it's been growing thanks to a number of kind of people on this list being former staff members, being former players and such. You can see here Quinton Fortune, our former assistant, well, not even assistant manager, our former under-18s manager, living it up at Mainz now, and he has incredible attributes, to be fair to him. Luke Gouda, you may remember him from years ago, one of the players who really funded our initial surge up through the leagues, sold for £725,000 to Sheffield Wednesday. And just various other players from different periods of time at Town or Town who were players have now retired. And because they played for us once upon a time, they now just show up in the positive relationships, which is kind of cool to see. And a few names that have popped up here that I kind of, forgot were playing for us at different points, if I'm being honest. But anyway, with all those niceties out the way, here's how we look. And you may notice the bench is a little more filled out because a load of players returned from the European Under-21s Championship. So the great news is Sammy Tunnell is in the team. And actually, today he is going to be playing at centre mid alongside Benny Boy. So they get a unusual appearance alongside each other, a partnership we've never seen before. At right wing back, Aurelio is dead, so we're going to have to bring in Alex Boyo, who I don't know what's happened for him over the summer, but clearly he's had some kind of traumatic event with England, probably the disappointment of getting knocked out and not performing. He's slowly but surely learning right wing back. He's going to get a shot at it today because I just can't afford to play Mateus Aurelio there, just with how much he is struggling from a fitness perspective. And of course, Deacon got injured in that last game. He's out for 9 days to 3 weeks, or not even that last game. I think it was the Botafogo game he got injured. Either way, he's not available. These games have all kind of blurred into one because they've been coming so relentlessly one after the other. The good news is in the striking department we are at full strength, and at the back Austin and Cesar can play alongside one another. I've noticed that as players' match fitness has built up, so has their ability to, recover conditioning. So hopefully that's going to work out in our favour as we go into today's game against Barcelona. Now, I'll be honest, I thought I was ready to go into the game against Barcelona, so the fact I'm a few continues away is a little bit awkward, but we will continue on our merry way. I have been planning ahead, as you can perhaps imagine, for next season. It's the start of July. The league season starts in, not too long a period of time. You can see here, Jimenez has decided that he wants to stay at the club. The 21-year-old Serbian international crying and complaining about wanting to leave. Maybe we'll loan him out again this year, but nevertheless, incredible backup defender to have, I think. That's probably a little bit of an understatement. I have, continued to look at players to sign, players to sell. There are deals going on constantly. A few names here that you may recognise as players that people have wanted me to sign over the years. Still, no luck with Smoljo, unfortunately for us. You can see here loads of transfer business that we've got going on. I guess the most notable bit is the fact that Bubalo's contract is up at the end of the year. He doesn't want to sign a new contract. He's just outright refusing to sign one. He's listed as being a world-class player, and to be fair, he's absolutely quality. Was out on loan, last year at Lyon. I just don't know if I can even fit him in the team. So, whilst on the one hand, I would desperately like to renew his contract, there is another part of me that's just sat thinking, cash in on him whilst we can. And for a player who is this good, who's consistent, enjoys big matches, I would like to think we can get in the region of £100 million for him, to be honest. I think he's that good. When you consider we had that bid from for Andre from Man City a few years ago now, where it was a crazy sum of money. It'd be interesting to see what we maybe can get for Bubalo. I've had offers of 36 million. Could do with offering him out for a more significant amount, I feel like. Anyway, in the other semi-final, Man City won. So it will be potentially a game against Man City. Not the most exciting of finals, I suppose. But before we play them, we're going to be taking on Barcelona. And as I mentioned, I think just last episode, they actually did a really good job last year of succeeding. They won the Champions League final. They beat Dortmund 2-1 after extra time. And it was Pavlovic with the goal. That is a Pavlovic who has returned from his loan to Town or Town. This is one of the reasons, this guy is one of the reasons why I'm not too fussed if we have to sell Bubalo. We've got so many incredible strikers coming through. We've got a Champions League winner, a player who knocked out Dortmund, and well, hopefully we're going to be able to knock out his former club here. He is not available for us either because he's not registered for this competition with our squad, which is a little bit of a shame. You can see here, this is the team that we're going to go with. A few more bits of red than I would like. Boyo's red is just because he's not considered naturally a right wing back. He's unconvincing in it. I guess match time in a game as big as this one is not a bad way to try and go about developing some ability there. You can see if we just look at the condition, it's way better than it has been for the past few games. So I'm going into this a little less cynical than when we took on Chelsea. Hopefully it's going to be a marketable improvement, I suppose. But we'll have to see how we get on. They're a good team, Barcelona. There's a reason they've just won the Champions League. I know that sounds really obvious, but I know people sometimes look at my team and go, well, Jack, you've got like the most world-class team. And whilst I completely agree, if there's anything I've learnt this year in Football Manager, not just through this save game, but also through the streamer showdown, it's that when you have two teams full of top-quality players, anyone can win. I mean, just to look at their team, they've got Awana out on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, they've got Guare, who's probably the best player in their team. He's absolutely nuts. They've also got Soretta, who actually is playing defensive mid for them in this game, which is a little bit interesting. But yeah, a few former players of ours, so we're going to have to be wary. As the ball's whipped in here, and he's actually got the assist. Bloody Soretta. He's back. If you've been missing Soretta, if you've wanted more Soretta in your life, well, here it is. Here it is. It's not the way I want to see more Soretta in my life. Ball whipped in, Soretta nods it on. I thought there might be a hint of offside, but apparently not. Barcelona take the lead in this World Club Cup semi-final after 10 minutes, and while Boyo whipping in the ball, keep an eye on him at right back, because I do feel like it's an interesting situation for him emerging, where of course he's playing right back, where he's not natural at all, throwing him in a little bit at the deep end, but I just don't have an alternative option there, unfortunately, just with how things have played out so far. Anyway, ball squared across. What a save by Morrigan. What an insane save. Somehow got down to his right to save that. An immense effort by Barcelona, dealt with, and while Soretta at the back post is not going to get picked out, could Tanel launch a counter? I can't help but feel like this is the pointless highlight to end it. Yep, okay. I was about to say, I can't help but believe this is the pointless end to a highlight that I don't need to see. And, well, right on cue, the replay ends. Anyway, half an hour gone, 1-0 down. They got that early goal from a set piece. And to be fair, since then, Barcelona have done very, very well in this game. They've looked pretty good. Alex Boyo's been played out of position. I know, Mr. Assistant Manager. I know. In fact, I don't even think it's our assistant. I think that's the game telling us, hey, by the way, you got that wrong. I know, Football Manager. I know. I wish there was an alternative that I could do here. Benny Boy hasn't had a very good game, so you know what? I might take him off and bring in Matasevic. The good news is the players on the bench do have a little bit of fitness about them, so we can actually bring players on if we need to, just not really at the back. It's mostly in the midfield and attacking departments. Anyway, 55 minutes gone in this game. We have not been at our very best, and in fact, it's Barcelona on the attack again here. But Allen with it gives it to Awana, who cuts inside all on his lonesome, and Morrigan makes another huge save. Another huge save. I feel like at this point, you know, I kind of want to change systems. I kind of feel like now is the time to make a change. Now is the time to shuffle things around. Maybe even bring in Cancino, although he's still nursing that injury. I mean, we can switch to this. My concern is primarily with Boyo here. I mean, we could bring in Mateus Aurelio. We could. Might be a little bit of a risk, but I think it's probably worth it at this point. I feel like the current system that we're using just isn't really working. We're getting doubled up in the wide areas, which is causing us problems. I'm hoping that having the inverted wingers, who will hopefully track back, is just going to give us a little bit more defence in those wide areas and potentially even allow us to explode in the wide areas, really stretch them wide defensively. Anyway, they're bringing the ball forward here, Barcelona. The tactical change has gone into effect, and well, I'll be honest, I'm not seeing an immediate change on the stat line, although I'm not even sure how long since the tactical change happened has passed. As they're on the attack, I want to clean through, and I mean, Morrigan's been scored against there, but to be fair, he's done absolute heroics to keep us in this game for so long. I might even chance it on Cancini, you know. I'm tempted to. Talk me out of it, someone. I'm going to do it. We're going to bring in Cancina. Carrying a small injury, but I was told he could play the game if he absolutely needed to. With half an hour left, he absolutely needs to. We need players, and we need them on the pitch now, and we need them making a difference. And I feel like he is the kind of player in this kind of match who really can come on and be a big difference maker for us. I don't want to bottle this competition. I don't want to go out in the semi-finals, albeit against the Champions League winners. Going to switch to very attacking. We've got to turn the screw a little bit, start to apply the pressure. Vincent throws it forward to Shvetsov. Back now with Vincent. Plays it inside. So good they named him twice, they say. Cancina nods it on to Shvetsov. Options in the middle. Whips it in. Back post. Hits the woodwork. Hacked away. Soretta helps it on its merry way as well. Oh my word, that was an opportunity. The woodwork denies us. Frost at the back post, I think it was, lurking away. Unfortunately, he just couldn't quite get there. I'm going to go a little bit more direct, a little bit more attacking. Since we've made the changes, we've seen a little more, but it's not been a game-changing kind of set of changes. And unfortunately, Barcelona look like they've just got the superior quality. Morrigan saves it onto the woodwork, and it finds its way in, and your heart bleeds for him. He's done so much from a defensive perspective, Morrigan, in this game. He's done insane work, really. I feel like 3-0 flatters them massively, but we've just not been good enough here. Oh, the way it trickles across the line is just heartbreaking, really. And in going very attacking, we've left ourselves open at the back. It was always going to be a risk. And against the Champions League winners, Barcelona, there is going to be no fairy tale here in the Club World Cup. There is going to be no redemption. This is not an anime. This is not a cartoon series. This is not a movie where the hero has their day at the end. There are no happy endings. There are no scripts. It's 4-0. Rip it up. The dream of Club World Champions fades away, and with this competition not occurring for another 4 years, I can safely say we're not going to get another shot at this, and it's just a little bit heartbreaking, especially to crash out like this against the former, well, I was going to say the former Champions League winners. They're the current Champions League winners as well as the former Champions League winners. Are Barcelona, and they've absolutely destroyed us in this game here. It was a close game. They took their chances that came their way. I mean, Morrigan made 9 saves. He absolutely did his bit. It just wasn't enough, unfortunately. When your keeper's probably put in the best performance and you've still conceded 4, that's usually an indicator that things haven't really gone to plan. You can see here he ended up with a 7.0. I don't even know where the blame falls there, to be honest. It's like we just didn't turn up on the occasion. I want to say players were a little bit tired and that played a factor, but I don't even know if you can really pin it on that. Just players struggling for fitness across the board, and I can argue that caught up with us, but obviously Barcelona are dealing with it as well. You can see, to add, I mean, I want to call it consolation. We've got a third place playoff against Bayern Munich. I don't even want to do it. What I think we may even do, maybe, I didn't realise there was a third place playoff, I'm going to be completely honest, folks. What I may do, I might bundle up the Bayern Munich game with the Manchester United game in the FA Community Shield. I don't know what transfer business is going to be going on. I don't know exactly where this Bayern game fits in. Do we really care about the third place playoff? I mean, let me know, and I'll make a call based off your guys' general reaction. Either the way, bitterly disappointed today, especially the way in which we've crashed out to beat Chelsea so convincingly, and then just days later to struggle so much in a game that we needed to win just sucks, especially at the Bernabeu. Barcelona should not be doing well at the Bernabeu, but, well, we're not Real Madrid, and we certainly weren't the Galacticos on today's occasion. We just didn't turn up, unfortunately. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. Maybe some learnings to take from that game into the next season. Hopefully, I will see you guys next time. It might be the Bayern game. It might be the Manchester United game. I'm going to go away, have some self-reflection, figure things out. I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for your support. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.